Gabs with Abigail. If you are back and this is your first time on my channel, hi, welcome to Gabs with Abigail, where we talk about the Bates and Duggars and other D-list fundies. As you can see from today's title, this is our Pride Month special. So welcome. You're in for a good time or a harsh time, but at a bad time. So subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, so shout out. Hey everybody, if I should do like a special Q&A or anything like that, if that's something you're interested in for 1,000 subscribers, leave me a comment or something else that you think I could do for that, or send me a DM if that's something that you're interested in. Otherwise, if you enjoy the mystique, if you enjoy the fantasy, well, let's get into the video. So this has actually been a topic that's been on my heart for a while, but I have for the longest time been really disturbed by the Josiah is gay rumors, and for a couple of reasons that I'm going to get into. So the first being that I think it's wildly inappropriate to be leaving comments under anybody's page speculating about their sexuality. Like, that's weird, and that is kind of like bullying. I don't care who it is to be doing that. And like, it's just really wildly inappropriate to just be leaving a comment under somebody's photo like, you're gay, are you gay, are you going to come out the closet, are you going to do X, Y, and Z in reference to the fact that you're gay. And especially under a page that is, I think at this point, primarily run by his wife. Like, why would you do that? Why would you think that that's okay? I want to know, because it's just not. I think a lot of people think, well, these are big celebrities, these are public figures, they should already kind of used to scrutiny and things like that. Nobody deserves to just be called gay just to be called gay, you know what I mean? And I feel like people say that to Josiah and to Jana because of how like anti-gay, anti-trans.
Michelle, let me ask you, because you were in the news for making a robocall that suggested transgender people might want to go into the bathrooms of girls, locker rooms of girls, and that they may be child molesters. Folks have used that in the past week against you, saying, how could you unfairly, in their view, compare transgender people to child molesters, suggest they are child molesters, knowing what you know about Josh?
I think that protecting young girls and not allowing young men and men in general to go into a girl's locker room is just common sense.
But this is different because you injected child molestation into it.
Not necessarily related, but anti-abortion, the Duggars are. And so it's like a way to insult them by insinuating one of their children is gay, as if being gay is a bad thing. And now I'm sure there's somebody who's like, well, yeah, like, I don't think being gay is bad, which is why I have to say it, you know what I mean? Which is, to me, still ass backwards, right? Because knowing that they think it's bad, why then would you say that to them, knowing that it's not going to be met with anything but like a negative, harsh, like, view and perspective? You know what I mean? I just think you're lying to yourself saying that, oh, it's out of a good place. Like, I don't think that homosexuality is bad, so that's why I'm saying that to them. Like, you know that they think it's bad. And to me, in my opinion, it's that you're using like sexuality to, like, you're weaponizing that against somebody that you think is gay. Jana. Can we stop calling Jana a lesbian because she hasn't found the one? Like, and even that, what does that say about us? Like, assuming because somebody is single, a woman is single, hangs out with her female best friend all the time, like, because what else are you doing? And like, all the time is even kind of like a strong word, I feel like. Laura clearly has her own life, but that they're both single and 30, saying that they must be lesbians. Like, one, even if they were, again, are we making a safe, inviting, inclusive space by constantly asking them if they're gay? Like, just because a woman is unmarried, so she must be a lesbian. And I get it. Most people are going to say it comes from the fact that Jana is 30 and hasn't yet got married, and most of these girls get married very young. And you know what? Jana just might be the anomaly that has not found their person yet. It really could be just that simple. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to be gay. She could really have just not found anybody who is the right person for her, who feels good enough for her, whatever it may be. But to speculate that she's gay, just to speculate that she's gay, again, is kind of weird. If you never had a boyfriend and just never had a boyfriend and none of your family ever saw you talking to guys or anything like that, you mean to tell me it wouldn't bother you if they were accusing you of being a lesbian? And even if you kept telling them, no, I'm not, you know, like imagine your family made a whole long ass Facebook post about you being possibly a lesbian, and all various members of your family commenting on it, strangers commenting on it as well. Like, you would be bothered by that, right? So you can imagine how making a podcast episode or a YouTube video speculating about somebody's sexuality might be inappropriate. Imagine I kind of really think that it's really terrible that Katie Joy's most watched episode or most watched video is about Jana wanting to marry or be with Laura and be a lesbian, and that she's rejecting who her father is choosing for her because of that. Like, that's a really weird, toxic thing to be making your money off of and calling yourself then an ally to gay people, right? Like, oh, Jana should come and talk to you. You just made like a stack, 2 stacks, 3 stacks. Like, you just made bread off calling me a lesbian. You don't even know me. And I'm supposed to think that you're this safe, inclusive person? Like, that's weird. I'm sorry, that's weird. Like, it's really very weird. It would bother you as probably an ally to trans people to use wrong pronouns for people. Like, that would bother you if you did. Yet you think speculating on somebody who might be closeted on a public platform or in their comments is appropriate. Like, I just can't understand that. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And the fact that you think that you should be able to do that simply because they have beliefs that are less than positive. And I'm saying that with, like, you know, less than positive, that it's okay to do that to them. No, it's not. Because, like, imagine being gay. You are gay. You're trying to keep it down. You're trying to be down low. You're trying to be in the closet, all right? And people are just constantly bringing up that there is something about you that strikes them as gay. Like, could you imagine, like, I don't say could you imagine, because I know that there are plenty of people who have had to endure this, who are enduring this right now. It's like you're proving that no matter what, from within their conservative cult and within outside in the liberal world, your sexuality can be weaponized against you to hurt you. And how it doesn't matter even outside, right, of this, again, super conservative, fundamental, evangelical, religious sect, that people still have a negative view about sexuality and about being gay. And I could be completely wrong, and this man could be, in fact, gay, which is his business, is not my business. Like, I want to say that this channel is not to speculate on people's sexuality, because you're speculating based off of what? Especially, like, you're another cisgendered straight person. Like, you're speculating off of what? Like, I can understand if somebody was like, yes, we saw Josiah in the booth with a guy kissing another guy. Cool. You don't have any of that. And so in that vein, we should, like, as much as possible, mind our business, even if it's because you think the person is gay. I hate this idea that Josiah is gay because, like, you have a gaydar. I got into this whole back and forth with this girl in the Duggar Bates confession comments about, like, okay, so, like, how do you know he's gay? And she was like, oh, I just know. Like, you can just kind of tell with some people. Like, all of my gay friends, like, agree with me about it. Okay. So I want you to now go back to these gay friends and ask them if they think that it's appropriate to leave these kinds of comments under somebody who's closeted. If, in fact, you know, Josiah were to be a closeted person, like, or any person in general. I want you to say something that is not a heteronormative stereotype about what it means to be straight and what it means to be gay, about what behaviors, what about Josiah makes you think that he's gay, that just gives you a gay vibe, you know? And I think everybody needs to pause, stop, and think about that, okay? And again, it's taught to us. It's taught to us that you act a certain way when you're straight, you act a certain way when you're gay. Like, it's taught to us a certain way, like, oh, that's what it is. But really, I honestly don't believe any cisgendered person, like, truly has a gaydar, like, that you aren't gay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's weird to think that you could spot a gay person. I also think it's weird to want to brag about that skill. I think it's weird to feel like it's a talent that you've cultivated. Like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. It's a little bit weird. Especially, I even think, like, it's weird to me. That's it. It's weird. And to pretend that it's not based in those things, like, is to me weird, because I think it's very true that Josiah doesn't give off this air of being rugged and aggressive and, like, in those sense of, like, what it means to, like, get dirty, like, in terms of, like, I'm a man, you know what I mean? And that doesn't all of a sudden mean that he's gay. I just think that he's more of a social person, that, or that's what we could say. Like, that's the kind of person he is, where all of the other Duggar brothers, a bunch of them have gone into construction and building houses and real estate, or flipping houses, right? Doing the actual manual labor. Josiah worked on the car lot. He has a personality that I would say, yes, would probably be successful as a car salesman. If you are somebody who can talk to anybody, you know, you're comfortable with that kind of thing, you can chat somebody up, you might be good at selling somebody some shit. And there is nothing, none of us would say that being a salesman, all right, being a salesperson makes you gay, like, gives a gay vibe. Like, that sounds weird coming out my mouth, like, even to say that. I just cannot get behind this. And I think also why it bothers me so much is, like, you saying that from the context of the Duggars might seem, like, innocuous. But to me, I just feel like there are so many men who aren't like that, who are perfectly straight, that it's so hurtful to them as well for you to be reinforcing these stereotypes about what it is that makes you a straight man, beyond, like, you're attracted to the opposite, you know, gender. Like, I think we don't have any right to be doing all of that, and so we should stop, okay? Even myself. And so why I say we, because I'm including me in this, in terms of, like, having to unlearn these things, because the idea of what is masculine, what is male, is cultural, and it's arbitrary at best, right? There are, of course, things that are universal, but then there are other things that break down into being cultural. So, for example, I was supposed to go out to brunch with, like, my friend and this guy we met at a wedding, okay?
Like, MBD, like, we're gonna go, we didn't end up going, right? But, like, me and my best friend just moved, and was about to move to Belgium. I was like, you know, I need more friends who are close to me. So, while my female friend is in another state, I was like, oh, here, me and him are close by, like, I had such a good time, like, you know, with him and everybody at the wedding, like, dancing and everything, like, oh, this would be, like, you know, we could hang out, like, I can invite him out with, like, some of my other, like, girlfriends who are in, you know, the area. And I was like, so I hit him up when I couldn't go anywhere to the brunch, like, you know, but, you know, if I find something that I can get into, I'll definitely hit you up the link. And same thing, like, if you find something you want to get into, like, hit me up, I'll come out. And it later dawned on me, like, might have been inappropriate, because, like,
what if he's just Caribbean? He might not be gay. And I had to, like, really sit with that for, like, a minute, thinking that it's true. There are certain behaviors that might seem more, like, flamboyant and over the top, and things that we as Americans associate as being, like, oh, you're gay. And it's like, yo, he might not be gay. He might just be Caribbean, bro. And I really had to, like, sit with that for a second, like, so now it's inappropriate that I basically was just like, yes, hang out with me. Like, yes, hit me up. And the whole time he might be straight.
Like, obviously, of course, you can make friendships with straight men, but when you're, like, in a relationship, I do this for myself, because God knows what the fuck it is. But when you're, like, it's inappropriate to be hanging out with, like, men who just want to be friends.
Returning to Josiah, like, just this idea that that kind of stuff doesn't make you gay is pretty much the long and short of it. And we all need to be working to actively unlearn that. So here is my plea for everybody to please stop calling Josiah Duggar gay. I'm just so tired of people saying that he's gay, because even if he is, like, let him deal with that in his own time. Even if he is, can we imagine how difficult that is to live with every day? And it's inappropriate. I also want to mention that Josiah has, like, a type, right? Lauren and Marjorie really remind me of each other in terms of like dark hair, half Latina, okay, big conservative family. Maybe it's just that, and kind of having like uppityness. I don't know how to describe that. Like you had a high quality of living, basically, like a little bit of class in you. And I really think that that's his thing. You know, he's into the shares, like from Clueless type girls. And I think that's my opinion. And also I feel like we underestimate how sexually repressed these children are, like, or were. And yes, probably still are, right? Like, imagine you getting punished for masturbating, right? For masturbating. Like, you can't watch porn. I'm not going to say that's the end of the world, because, like, a lot of porn kind of gives you unrealistic expectations about sex. Story for another day. But, so I don't just, like, I just think, though, that when we see how Joe acted when he had to touch Kendra's waist for their engagement photos, like, these are people who are extremely repressed sexually. And how that might manifest itself in their behavior to the point, like, yes, you cannot speculate on a person being gay or straight or whatever just because of how you see, like, they're acting, one, on television, and two, just because of how you see that they're acting. Like, imagine already the enormous amount of pressure that Josiah might have been under his entire life about acting hyper-masculine, you know? And also why I think it's inappropriate to be leaving the comments is, like, again, because I said Lauren sees them, I think, like, because from running the page, but how that must feel, like, growing up in this hyper-masculine, like, culture, and having people on the internet just saying that there's something about your husband that suggests that he's less than that. And how that might feel like in person. You know what I mean? Like, if they are having those kinds of experiences with people, especially just because I feel like it hurts other gay people who you probably do love and respect more. But when you give into that cycle just because it's for people that you don't like, you're not, like, again, like, you're just reinforcing these very negative things. Versus, like, we could just all not say anything to speculate about anybody's sexuality, okay? I think if you want to speculate about Jana and who she's dating in terms of, like, a man, cool. Who she's courting, that makes sense because she has identified as straight and she is on a television show that centers around, like, courting, relationships, and having babies. Like, I think that's great. If you want to speculate about that, cool, whatever, that makes sense to do. But to assume that she's a lesbian because she's over 30 and not married is just inappropriate. It's doing too much, in my opinion. IMO. It's doing too much. And I just really would like for us to move away from this language of calling Josiah gay. And just with the Duggars, with the Bates, with these fundies, there are so many other things that you could talk about and trash talk about them if you wanted to, about, and it not need to be this, like, something that hurts other people that you really do love and really support. But, right? That is my opinion. Like, in so many ways, it's just, you're reinforcing this idea that being gay is bad by leaving these comments under somebody who you know thinks it's bad. Like, it's like you're co-signing, right? Like, come out in your sin, you know? At least one of them has to be gay. There's too many of them. At least one has to be gay. Like, what pleasure do you derive from that? Except knowing that this super evangelical conservative family would have a gay person in their family. Like, and I think, to me, also what bothers me is that it means, like, it's either that you're ignoring it or you're taking pleasure in the fact of he might get ostracized, or Jana could get ostracized if these things were true. I won't even speak to them specifically. If there was one person who was gay, the immense amount of hurt that they would probably experience from their family. We see what they did to Jill, right? Okay? Like, where Jill, yes, is in a weird place in her life in terms of with her family, and how that has to be painful at times, that you don't have this relationship with them in the way that you'd probably like, though I'm sure that, of course, there are the benefits of getting all the space that she needs, you know, and having the control over her life. I really cannot get behind the whole Josiah is gay stuff. I can't. I just think it's wildly inappropriate. I know another reason was that because he was in the Alert Academy and went for a long time, like longer than most people do. And I also just think that that's kind of dumb as a reason for why. Because one, all of them do it. All of the Bates brothers, all of the Duggar brothers have done it. And even if it is the case that he went for an extra long amount of time compared to everybody else, I just feel like that was to like man him up because of all of the reasons, the stereotypes about what makes a man, what makes somebody masculine. And so imagine like he's enduring all of this and everybody is also manipulating this and continuing to call him gay. Like, could you imagine like if he is somebody who is straight and having to deal with people telling him he's not manly enough, he's not masculine enough? I just think it's really insane and inappropriate to be doing that, like just to be reinforcing these negative things. And when I say negative things, I mean like this negative thinking that we can tell what a gay person is, that we can speculate on somebody's sexuality whenever we want. Like, just, you don't do that to people that you think are straight, you know what I mean? Because it feels regular. And like, so if you're trying to unlearn, like I think part of unlearning your homophobia is acknowledging that being gay is regular. And also something that I feel like I've recently learned, this idea that nobody has to come out of the closet. And that's fine, because nobody has a right to speculate on your sexuality, period. Like, they just don't. And we all just kind of, I feel like, need to get to a place. And I understand, though, that it's also for all of us, like, having to get more used to seeing it in a mainstream light. Shows on television are still overwhelmingly don't include gay characters. And when they do include gay characters, it's normally some stereotypical trope about what a gay person is on television in people's lives. Like, we don't get full-bodied characters necessarily. So, like, we often get gay characters who are meant for straight people to consume. So, I say this all to say, again, let's stop it. Let's cut it out. But that's it for me on this video. I just wanted to come here and say that real quick. Happy Pride Month. If you're gay, go ahead and be gay. If you're gay and you can't be gay, still, if you know you're gay, go ahead and be gay. Much love to everybody. And yeah.
It's like, you niggas gotta stop acting weird. You niggas gotta stop acting weird.